I thought I was yelling pretty loud. I'm so sorry. I'll call the meeting of April 6, 2026 to order at 6 p.m. Will you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we have David Barnes here to do the invocation for us.
Please bow your heads. Father, we just are so grateful for your mercy and your grace and your love. And God, thank you for your grace upon this town. And we want to praise you for the amazing weekend that we got to have with the Daffodil Parade. And so we just lift that up to you and thank you for the amazing weather. And so God, tonight we ask for your presence as decisions are being made for our beautiful community. We lift up all these people that have given their lives to serve this community. And we are very grateful for them. God, may you give them wisdom and discernment. May the communication that goes on in here, may be dialogue that we listen, we communicate, and God, we lift up our country to you, and we lift up our brave soldiers in the midst of the war. God, may your will be done through this. So God, we are very grateful, and we declare you are a good God. We pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Elfers,
Here.
Evers,
Here.
Hochstetter,
Here.
Kenna,
Here.
Malcolm. Councilmember Malcolm is absent. Ranky,
Here.
Wilsey. Councilmember Wilsey is absent.
Thank you. So tonight we have 2 members absent and 1 member attending virtually. Councilmember Kenna is virtual, and Council members Malcolm and Wilsey are absent. All members notified the mayor and city administrator as per council rules. Is there a motion to excuse Councilmember Malcolm from tonight's meeting?
I'll make a motion to excuse Councilmember Malcolm to tonight's meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
So, moved by Councilmember Ranky and seconded by Councilmember Evers. So, we'll vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. So, pass. She's asking me something.
Is there any opposed?
Oh, thank you very much. Any opposed? None. So passed. Thank you. Is there a motion to excuse Councilmember Wilsey from tonight's meeting?
Yes, I make a motion to excuse Councilmember Wilsey.
Second?
I will second that.
So moved by Councilmember Hochstetter, seconded by Councilmember Ranky. So we need to vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Pass. Thank you. All right. So tonight, we have a proclamation. So the Sumner Rotary Centennial Celebration. From the Rotary to accept the proclamation, the members are President Ron McCorkle and Chair of the Centennial Committee, Barbara Botetto. City Administrator Jason Wilson will read the proclamation.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll invite members of Rotary to come forward. All right, whereas Sumner Rotary Club was formed on March 4th, 1926, as the 85th Club of Rotary International, only 21 years after Paul Harris founded the organization. And whereas Sumner is now one of over 46,000 clubs that now unite over 1 million members across 200 countries. And whereas here in Sumner, Rotary has helped build key projects including Scout Hall at Loyalty Park, the Performing Arts Center at Sumner High School, the Bill Heath Sports Complex, the Sumner Food Bank, the Gordon Family YMCA, the picnic shelter at Rainier View Park, the community center at the new Sumner Library, and soon the stage at Reuben Knobloch Heritage Park. And whereas Through the Courage Classic, Sumner Rotary joined other local clubs in building an award-winning center at Marybridge Children's Hospital to establish new ways to support and care for children who had experienced trauma. And whereas for 100 years, Sumner Rotarians have joined this tradition to help eradicate polio, build sanitation facilities, send shelter tents after disasters, and bring medical care to rural Africa. And whereas through Rotary, Sumner leaders continue to fund scholarships for local students and ensure that every student receives a dictionary to discover words like service and giving. And whereas Rotary's Early Act and Interact clubs in the Sumner Bonnie Lake School District help future leaders discover ways to serve their community. Now, therefore, the City of Sumner proclaims that the Sumner Rotary Club has reached a significant milestone in celebrating its centennial, marking 100 years of service above self and a rich history of giving that has shaped our community and connected Sumner to efforts to bring peace and health to communities across the globe. Dated the 6th day of April, 2026, signed Mayor Carla S. Bowman. So, Ron, I'll give you that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It'd be nice to take a quick photo.
Yeah.
Ms. Palmer. I just want to go up towards the front there.
I don't want to be in the background.
Photo bomb. That's the whole photo bomb. You got to get as many Rotarians in here as you can.
I'm a Rotarian, so I guess I can be in the middle.
You should be in there.
Thank you, you guys. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so we
Say
will,
something, or
would you like to say something, Mr. Evers?
I would just like to say thanks to Barb and Ron. I've been in Rotary for I don't know how long. It escapes me, but Barb just, I mean, every group has somebody that does everything, or most everything, and that's Barb Potato. And then Ron McCorkle, usually we have presidents for 1 year, and this is Ron's second term, so that's going above and beyond Dr. President Ron. So thank you guys, both of you.
Thank you. Thank you. So we're going to move on to the consent agenda. Will the clerk please read the consent agenda?
Item number 1, resolution number 1746, Recreation and Conservation Office Grant Authorization. Item 2, Planning Commission reappointment, Rob Healy. Item 3, Lodging Tax Advisory Committee reappointment, Charles Hendricks. Item 4, Lodging Tax Advisory Committee reappointment, Maylee Anderson. Item 5, Lodging Tax Advisory Committee reappointment, Dean Burke. Item 6, Granular Activated Carbon Media Exchange Purchase Authorization. Item 7, Resolution number 1748, Planning Commission Work Program 2026 through 2027. Item number 8 is approval of the minutes from the 16th of March 2026 regular council meeting and the 23rd of March 2026 council study session.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Elpers, would you please make a motion to adopt the consent agenda?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to adopt the consent agenda of April 6, 2026.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
You got to give somebody credit.
Council Member Ranky made the motion to second. It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Would any council member wish to remove an item? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. All right, thank you. So tonight, we're going to move on to our public hearing. So we do have a public hearing tonight, resolution number 1744-2027-2032, 6-year transportation improvement program annual update. So I will open this public hearing at 6:13 p.m. I'll call on Courtney Luttrell, Assistant Engineering Manager.
Good evening, Mayor Bowman and council members. My name is Courtney Luttrell, Assistant Engineering Manager. This public hearing is for the 2027 through 2032 6-year Transportation Improvement Plan update, also referred to as the 6-year TIP. The slide you're seeing is the overall map of the 6-year TIP, of which was presented at the study session held on Monday, March 9th. Per state law, the city is required to update the 6-year TIP annually and file a copy of the approved plan with the State Department of Transportation. The city must also hold a public hearing for the public to comment on the plan. There are a few quick projects that I'd like to highlight. First is the Stewart Road Bridge replacement. Construction is currently underway and is expected to be completed in 2028. Next, we have the Washington Street Preservation Project. Bids were opened last Monday and is expected to begin in the next few months. And our Maple Street pedestrian signal and citywide backplate project. This project's currently suspended while we procure our signal poles and signal equipment, and is expected to be completed in fall of this year. And with that, I will open up to the public.
Thank you. Anyone wish to make comments on Zoom? None? Thank you. Michelle, has anyone signed up to make comments?
No, Mayor, no comments.
Thank you very much. All right, I will close this hearing at 6:15 p.m. So let's see here. We'll move on to regular business. So unfinished business. Ordinance number 2958, vacation of a portion of the Harrison Street alley. Councilmember Kenna, would you like to make a motion?
Yes, I'll do my best here on Zoom. I'd like to make a motion to adopt ordinance number 2958, vacation of a portion of the Harrison Street alley.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember Hochstetter. So it's been moved and seconded to approve ordinance number 2958, vacation of a portion of the Harrison Street alley. I will now call on Deputy City Attorney Doug Ruth.
Thank you, Mayor. I am on, yes. So this vacation of the alleyway just south of Harrison was proposed by SJS Investments. The owner of SJS Investments, Susan Susanovich, is here today.
Oh, sorry, Janice.
Janice, sorry. Whoops. We held a public hearing on that as required by statute. Notice was provided in the form of a sign on the property, a couple signs, notice to adjoining property owners, and we've received no objections to that proposed vacation. It's a 69 by 15-foot wide right-of-way. You can see the overall location on the screen. We'll drill down and show you more closely the location as we did at the public hearing. I'll just quickly go through these slides, and you've already seen them. Can I see? Oops, I can do this. Yes, I can do that. You can see the drawing more in detail, right next to Traffic Street. There's in color. And this will show you the utilities in that vacation area. So currently, as the pictures show, it's a parking lot. It has been a parking lot since 2007. And the Public Works Department has determined that it is not longer needed for the city. It does have utilities in the right-of-way. Those would need to be preserved. And the ordinance does provide for reservation of an easement for utilities. It has not been maintained by Public Works, largely because it has been serving as parking spaces in the parking lot. And since it was dedicated to the city and it has not been maintained, there is no provision in the ordinance for compensation required to the city by the applicant. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer those.
Well, since this was heard at a public hearing on March 16th, 2026, there will be no public comment taken. Any comments from the council?
Great, thank you.
You're good, thank you. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Hochstetter?
Yay.
Elfers?
Yes.
Kenna?
Yes.
Ranky?
Yes.
Evers?
Yes.
Passed 5-0.
Thank you. Okay, we will move on to public comment with a time limit of 3 minutes each. Michelle, did anyone sign up for a public comment?
Yes, Mayor, we do have 2 people who have signed up for public comment. Would you like to read the rules prior to them?
Yes, I would. The purpose of these meetings is to conduct the important business of the city, and that often means the city council is making difficult policy or budgetary decisions. With that said, I want to share a few rules and reminders that I will be enforcing to encourage respectful and orderly public comment. As a reminder, the public comment section of the meeting is a time for the council and myself to hear from members of the public on topics not on tonight's agenda. And while it may feel awkward, this is not a time for the council or myself to answer questions or engage in back and forth dialogue or debate. At the conclusion of your comments, I may request that an appropriate staff member may contact you for further discussions. So 1, please keep your comments relative to city business and about matters over which the city council has control. 2, all council members and city staff deserve respect and dignity. Please refrain from disorderly or disruptive speech or conduct, personal attacks, name-calling, rude or offensive statements, obscenities, derogatory comments directed at individuals, and hate speech. If you don't comply with this rule, I will interrupt you with a reminder and then may choose to suspend you from continuing or have you removed from the meeting. We also have behavioral expectations. We will all model courtesy and respect. This includes those of us on the dais, and members of the public are expected to do the same. Audience members, to ensure every speaker feels comfortable speaking, please do not clap, boo, or speak while another person is addressing the council. Please speak into the microphone. Comments are broadcasted and recorded via the mics. If you leave the microphone, your comment time ends. Now that I've reviewed the rules that will apply, I invite the first speaker to the microphone. Please start your comments by stating your name and the city in which you reside for our records. You will have 3 minutes to speak. Thank you.
And the first person that has registered or signed up, is Ellen Israel from the SBA.
Nice.
Hello. My name is Ellen Israel. I am here representing the U.S. Small Business Administration. I'm from out of town, so I didn't put my city of residence down. But I'm just here to let you folks know about the disaster assistance we're offering in the area as a result of the storms that occurred in December. Our assistance is available to homeowners, renters, businesses, and nonprofits throughout the area who were affected by the disaster. So not just businesses, it could be pretty much anybody who is affected by the disaster. Our assistance comes in the form of low-interest fixed-rate loans straight from the federal government. For homeowners, those rates start at 2.875%, businesses start at 4%, and nonprofits start at 3.625%. Businesses can qualify for up to $2 million, homeowners up to $600,000, renters up to $100,000. Homeowners and renters can use the funds to repair and replace any disaster damaged property. So any damage to real estate or damage to personal property, including cars, or anything that you would really pick up and take with you when you move. For businesses, the funding can be used to, again, repair and replace equipment or damage to a building. But we also offer for businesses our economic injury disaster loan. So in the case that a business may not have experienced much physical damage, they still might have some sort of economic injury. They could be experiencing a loss in revenue. Maybe they're seeing less traffic. I once spoke to a business in New Mexico that applied for a loan because a wildfire had knocked out power to their fridge and their freezer, and they lost all of that inventory. So, the economic injury disaster loan is designed to help with that sort of thing as well. We do have a couple of deadlines just to take note of. For physical damage, that deadline to apply is April 27th. And for economic injury, the deadline to apply is November 24th. And there are a few ways to apply. First is going to be online at sba.gov/disaster. Again, that is sba.gov/disaster. And we also have our disaster loan outreach centers where folks can come and apply and get one-on-one assistance from a staff member who will walk you through the whole process. And the closest one to here will be at the Auburn Library, and it is currently open Mondays through Saturdays, I believe. I encourage people to apply. Don't count yourself out just because you think maybe your credit isn't great. We don't look for a magic number. We look at your credit history as a whole, and you do have to have an ability to repay. So there's that as well. But that's all I have for you folks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's nice.
The next person that has signed up is Randall Adams of Sumner, Washington.
Randall Adams, Sumner, Washington. Let me start off by thanking our mayor for speaking up at the last month. At the last meeting I was able to attend and opening up a dialogue regarding my comments, suggesting my comments were not correct. Thank you for trying to correct for the record where you disagreed with my comments. Let us return to those comments for the sake of clarity. What I was saying is the city staff approved the site for the Derringer Best site without consulting with or including the city council or citizens prior to their approval of the permit for that project. I was 100% correct in that statement, as the first time council heard about it was in a committee meeting after the permit was issued, and when discussion ensued, council members were told that to change direction after the permit had been issued was to expose the city to a lawsuit. At no time prior to the permit being issued was the council or citizens consulted on the permit requested to allow open discussion to consider other thoughts or information prior to making the decision completely on their own. It was suggested that the city handles numerous permits every year without opening those up for outside comments. Yet one has to be tone deaf to compare a permit for a kitchen remodeling versus a Best site that are very controversial and potentially damaging, sitting on top of our aquifer within feet of the Derringer well. Also, it is suggested that if the city did not directly approve the permit, that the state of Washington would have taken over and do exactly what the city did, suggesting there was no opportunity to do anything except approve the Best site. Other areas in the state do reach out to their constituents for input, have robust and open conversations, place moratoriums for more time to learn about the risks and the options regarding the Best sites, yet in Sumner, none of that happened. Sumner approved the permit at stage 1, 2, or 3 of a possible 10-step process. The city uses the overused fear of lost clothes or the chicken little, the sky is falling thoughts to justify their actions. To do anything other than what we did was to allow the state to take over our decision. This is patently incorrect and is trying to insert a squirrel diversion into why they jumped to step 10 to ensure that there was no input from council or citizens prior to making their decision. I did offer one possibility as to why staff operated as they did, suggesting the city would receive over $40 million over 40 years as to one possible motivation as to why. Council and citizens were not allowed to contribute because that may have risked not getting that revenue. That is merely one supposition, not a fact. We clearly do not know because there has been no open discussion regarding that. Yet we do know that the reasons stated by the city do not hold water nor are validated with the facts. I did not question that the city did not do a SEPA, because had I done so, previous SEPAs would have been called into the light, and the one that acknowledged, even though the Ryan House was on a national registry, historic registry, that SEPA concluded that there was no historical significance to the city of Sumner.
There are no other people who have signed up for public comment.
Thank you. Is there anyone on Zoom who would like to make a comment? If so, please use the raise hand feature or press *9. All right, we see no one. Okay, so we'll move on to new business. First, we have ordinance number 2957, amending Sumner Municipal Code 2.100 personnel policies. Councilmember Ranke, would you like to make a motion? Oh, yes. Thank you.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve ordinance number 2957, amending the Sumner Municipal Code 2.100 personnel policies.
Thank you. Can we get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Councilmember Hochstetter. It's been moved and seconded to approve ordinance number 2957, amending Sumner Municipal Code 2.100 personnel policies. So I'd like to call on Human Resources Manager Adrienne McNally.
Hi, good evening, Mayor Bowman and council members. Tonight, ordinance number 2957 proposes minor updates to Chapter 2.100 of the Sumner Municipal Code relating to personnel policies. These updates are primarily administrative in nature and are intended to ensure our policies remain current, consistent, and aligned with best practices. Specifically, the ordinance includes 4 key changes. First, it updates our compensatory time language to acknowledge federal law. Second, it revises leave accrual provisions to clearly address permanent part-time employees who work fewer than 20 hours per week. This primarily applies to 1 employee at our senior center who's only scheduled to work 8 hours per week. Third, it makes minor adjustments to payday scheduling to account for situations when city offices are closed, but banks remain open, such as the day after Thanksgiving. And finally, this establishes the authority for the mayor to implement a policy on branded clothing, allowing the city to order and distribute Sumner logo apparel for employees and council members. Because this can be considered a taxable benefit, it must be authorized in the municipal code. We're currently developing a policy to address this benefit, and we'll share it once it's approved. The goal is to formalize and streamline the process so that the benefit is consistent and equal for all staff. These changes have no budget impact and were reviewed by the Finance and Personnel Committee on March 11th, where the recommendation was to move forward. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Do we have any comments from the public? Anyone on Zoom? Thank you. Any comments from council? All right. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Kenna?
Yes.
Hochstetter?
Yes.
Evers?
Yes.
Ranky?
Yes.
Elfers?
Yes.
Passed 5-0.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Okay, ordinance number 2959, Civil Service Amendment to Sumner Municipal Code, Chapters 2.86 and 2.96. Councilmember Hochstetter, would you like to make a motion?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to adopt ordinance number 2959, Civil Service Amendment of Sumner Municipal Code, Chapters 2.86 and 2.96.
Thank you. Can we get a second?
I'll second that.
Deputy Mayor Elfers made the second. Thank you. So it's been moved and seconded to approve ordinance number 2959, Civil Service Amendment to Sumner Municipal Code, Chapters 2.86 and 2.96. So again, we'll call on Human Resource Manager Adrienne McNally.
Okay, the next item is ordinance 2959, and this ordinance amends Sumner Municipal Code Chapters 2.68 and 2.96 to exempt the police chief position from civil service. Currently, City Code states that all positions within the police department are governed by civil service rules. However, this is not common practice, and state law permits this exemption, and many jurisdictions have adopted a similar structure. The police chief serves at the pleasure of the mayor and operates under an employment agreement, making civil service protections for this role unnecessary. This is an appropriate time to make the change as the city is moving between police chiefs. The incoming chief has been made aware of this amendment as has expressed no concerns. There's no budget impact associated with this ordinance, and the Public Safety Committee reviewed this item on March 18th and recommends approval. I'm happy to answer questions.
Thank you. Any comments from the public? Nobody's on Zoom. All right. Any comments from the council? Councilmember Ranky.
I would just say that it came to public safety and we gave it a due pass. We went through more extensively some things, but Adrienne hit the gist of it all, so we gave it a due pass through the committee.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Kenna? Councilmember Kenna?
Yes.
Thank you. Elfers?
Yes.
Hochstetter?
Yes.
Frankie?
Yes.
Evers?
Yes.
Pass 5-0.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, moving on to ordinance number 2956, franchise agreement with Easy Fiber. Council, well, this isn't. Deputy Mayor Elfers, would you like to make a motion?
I would. I'm still green though.
Oh, you'll get there. Just wait a minute. There you go.
All right, I'd like to make a motion to adopt ordinance number 2956, franchise agreement with Easy Fiber, second and final reading.
Thank you. Can we get a second?
Second.
We got to push your button.
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember Evers. Thank you. It's been moved and seconded to approve ordinance number 2956, franchise agreement with Easy Fiber. We're going to call on City Attorney Andrea Marquez. Thank you.
Thank you. As the mayor just stated, ordinance 2956 is a franchise agreement with Easy Fiber, a Houston-based company planning to install fiber telecommunications throughout the city. A franchise agreement is a license to use public right-of-way to construct, operate, and maintain telecommunication facilities to provide services to the public. These are very common, fairly formulaic agreements. One generally looks like the ones that have preceded it. PSE, Comcast, FatBeam, Ziply, and Astound are all common examples that council have adopted in the last couple of years. The term of this proposed agreement is 10 years. This grants a non-exclusive right to use city right-of-way, and that is standard. Being a franchise holder requires that Easy relocate any of their infrastructure if a city CIP project or right-of-way expansion requires them to move, and all of those relocations will be at their cost. Each installation or expansion does require a separate permit, so each portion of the build-out of the telecommunications infrastructure will be reviewed by the city's planning staff and will require separate bonds and permits. State law requires 2 readings of this ordinance. That's why this may sound familiar. I was before you back on March 16th with the first reading, and tonight's reading is the second opportunity for the public to make comments before council ultimately votes. Happy to answer questions.
Thank you. Any comments from the public? Anyone on Zoom? Okay, no one. Thank you. Any comments from council? All right. Will the clerk, oh, it's all right. Councilmember Ranky. Oh, Evers? All right.
I thought I had to do that to vote, right?
Yeah.
You will in a minute, yes.
Okay,
Okay,
wait,
thank
for
you.
that.
No worries. Will the clerk please call the roll? Yes.
Evers?
Yes.
Elfers?
Yes.
Kenna?
Yes.
Hochstetter?
Yes.
Ranky?
Yes.
Pass 5-0.
Thank you. Okay, we're on to ordinance number 2960, parking code amendments, Sumner Municipal Code 10.36. Councilmember Evers, would you like to make a motion?
I would love to, Madam Mayor. I'd like to make a motion to approve ordinance number 2960, parking code amendments.
Can we get a second?
I'll second that.
Deputy Mayor Elfers, thank you. It's been moved and seconded to approve ordinance number 2960, the parking code amendments, Sumner Municipal Code 10.36. I'm going to call on Community and Economic Development Director Ryan Windisch.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the City Council. The ordinance before you is it's really a needed cleanup and update to our parking code. We have a new parking code enforcement officer, community service officer who's been going around town finding a lot of things that needed to be adjusted. So it relates to 4-hour truck parking, streets where parking should be prohibited, but maybe it's not right now, time limits for loading zones, and then the back-end angle parking continues to be a challenge. So that's also addressed specifically in the ordinance. This went to the Community Development Committee, as I think was already spoken about, March 25th with the do pass recommendation. So happy to answer any other questions.
Thank you. Any comments from the public? Anyone on Zoom? Okay, no, thank you. So, any comments from the council? Now, Michael, I see you, but you can't, won't let me do
I think
this
I'm on.
Okay, there you go. Thank you. Okay, hang on, now you're on. There you go.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I serve on the Community Development Committee, and this came, and we did a do pass. It was really interesting to learn. A lot of it has to do with cleaning up in the industrial park. A lot of the semis need places to park, and how do you manage? How's the city best do that? And Ryan helped us understand that, and so we gave it a do pass to clean everything up.
Thank you very much. Will the clerk? Oh, sorry, Deputy Mayor Elfers.
I wasn't at the committee, but I would love to hear a little bit more. The back-end angle parking is pretty new, and I'm assuming you have gotten some feedback. Can you just give us a little bit of an? I'd love to hear just what the feedback is and if what this does.
Yeah, absolutely. So back. Thank you, Deputy Mayor Elfers, for the question. Yeah, backing angle parking, there was specifics needed to be in the code regarding alignment and the fact that backing in is if the sign says back in angle parking, that's what it means. And so the code needed to be adjusted with some specifics around that. In the alignment section of the ordinance, for your information, the alignment section also deals with which way you can park on the street. If you're on the opposite side of the street and parking the wrong way, then you're also out of compliance with the code. But
so somebody could, if they pulled in, not backed in, they could get a ticket?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, thank you for clarifying.
Any other comments? Council? Councilmember Ranky.
Is that enforced very much in this? I mean, because I see a lot of cars parked the opposite directions. I do see a lot of forward in the back ends. But I think I see more people parking in front of their homes facing the opposite way.
Yeah.
And I've never seen anybody get a ticket, but I was just wondering if that's happening or not.
I have a bad habit of occasionally parking the wrong way from my own house. And I don't do that anymore because our community service officer said that's one of his most common tickets. So now I park the correct way. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Hochstetter?
Yes.
Kenna?
Yes.
Ranky?
Yes.
Elfers?
Yes.
Evers?
Yes.
Pass 5-0.
Thank you. Moving on to ordinance number 2953, zoning code text amendment, co-living housing. Deputy Mayor Elfers, would you like to make a motion?
I would. I'd like to make a motion to adopt ordinance 2953, zoning code text amendment, co-living housing.
Is there a second?
Second.
Councilmember Hochstetter gave us the second. It has been moved and seconded to approve ordinance number 2953, zoning code text amendment, co-living housing. Again, I'd like to call on Community and Economic Development Director Ryan Windisch.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor. This ordinance went in front of the council at a study session here in February. So I'm just going to kind of hit the high points. It would amend our zoning code to allow for co-living housing, which is defined in state law as a residential development comprised of independently rented sleeping units with shared kitchen facilities. It's kind of a rebranded boarding house or rooming house type of an arrangement. And it was adopted into state law and requires all cities to allow for co-living housing in all zones where you allow for at least a single structure to have 6 units. So really it applies to our multifamily residential areas, medium density residential, high density residential, as well as the town center and all of our commercial areas where we allow for a mix of multifamily and commercial uses. The amendments included changes to some adopting some new definitions are in the ordinance around co-living housing, sleeping units, shared kitchens, and then it made, as I mentioned, all the zones where I went through for multifamily housing and commercial zones with mixed use. So co-living housing is outright permitted in those zones now. And it's also enters into the definition of multifamily housing. So all the design standards that would normally apply to multifamily also apply to co-living housing. So the Planning Commission took this to a public hearing January 8th and came away with a unanimous recommendation to approve. The Planning Commission, in the recommendation, it also included a recommendation to council to conduct a traffic study that the state law does allow for. And that was also discussed at length at the study session with a staff recommendation that a parking study not be required, or at least definitely not at this time be taken into consideration. That's all I have. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any comments from the public? Mr. Bierman. Name and address, please.
All right. Is it starting? All right.
You're
I'm
on.
Nick Bierman, 5802 Parker Road East. I live here in Sumner. So greetings, Mayor and council members. As you consider this co-living housing ordinance on tonight's agenda, I'd like to offer some insight from the perspective of someone who has lived in co-living space, most notably in Seattle, for about a period of 5 years. Note that I'm not speaking necessarily against or in favor of the ordinance. I just wanted to share some of my lived experience for the council. I've submitted some of my comments previously by email and during prior public comment periods. So you have that information before you, so I won't repeat all of it here today. But I do want to hit a few high points in the 2 minutes and 15 seconds remaining. First, the size of the units. We're talking about units that vary from about 150 square feet to about 400 square feet. So we're talking dorm room size, less than most hotel rooms. I'm talking about very small units. They're advertised as micro studios. That's the unit that I lived in. And one of my fellow residents called it a tiny ass apartment. So just so you know what we're talking about very small units. Most units do not have cooking capability other than like a microwave or a hot plate, something that you could fit on a countertop and that you can plug into a regular wall outlet. You won't have the ability to have high capacity voltage, refrigerator or ovens, things like that. So we're talking about space that's for living quarters, for sleeping quarters and not much more. I mention that because the type of residents who are going to be seeking this type of housing are generally going to be younger, single people. It's not really conducive for families. It's not really conducive for even single people with kids. I've heard some discussion that seniors might be attracted to this type of housing. Having lived in this type of housing, I would say probably not. The limitations on space, the limitations on the bathroom, the limitations on what you can do for your own cooking in your own unit probably won't appeal very well to most seniors. Accessibility is an issue too. I don't believe the ordinance requires elevators in multiple story buildings. I lived on the 4th floor and I had to walk up the stairs. I also had a friend who lived there who asked for a 1st floor unit because of his needs, and it was subject to availability. Parking is another thing too. I would say if you limit the parking spaces to a very small percentage of the people who live in the co-living space, which you might be required to do by state law, I guarantee you though, even if you do that, people are still going to bring their cars, so they're going to be parking on the street. So if you don't have spaces for them to park, they're going to park on the street. I really believe a parking study would show the impacts of that, and it doesn't have to show that it's unsafe, just that there is an impact.
Your time is up.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the public? Anyone on Zoom? Okay. Any comments from the council? Councilmember Hochstetter.
Thank you, Mayor Bowman. This came to the community development as well as we've got an opportunity with the study session. I think it's just really important that we know that these are coming from the state and their mandates. And I just want to say I appreciate the city staff as they comb through it and we adopted as a city. They did their best to make it fit our city, our needs, and what we want this community to look like. So many times, with these mandates that come down, there's not much we can do one way or another, but to do our best to make it work for us. So I just want to thank the staff and Ryan Windisch for doing their best to comb through this and make it much better than the original thing that came down.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Elfers.
Yeah, I was going to say similar. I just think it's important to note just that this is a state mandate. This is not something that's community driven. It may be something that fits Seattle more than Sumner, but that's the way the laws are happening in Washington State right now. So thank you, Mr. Bierman, for your comments and your insight, what this is like from somebody who's lived in it. I appreciate that.
Anyone else?
Mayor, may I make a comment from Zoom?
Yes. There I see a hand.
Right.
Hi.
Hi. See, I can subvert the microphone rules here by just speaking on Zoom, so this is great.
You're hiding behind Ryan's head.
I also wanted to, just make a comment and say, thank you to Nick for sharing his experience, because oftentimes these things come in front of council and our staff do a great job of explaining things and giving us the 411 is as in-depth as you can believe. But it's always great to have somebody's experience, lived experience that is in whatever issue or topic that might be. So I for one, appreciated, Nick, your attention to detail there. Ryan, you and your staff for combing through this, as well as Councilmember Hochstetter explained too. I do think I want to reiterate first that I think the impacts will likely be very, very, very minor. It's going to take a lot to develop this type of housing in some of these areas with the restrictions, requirements, that type of thing, and then have it meet people's needs. But I do think it's an important tool in our tool belt that does provide one level of housing that can work for some individuals, and that maybe works for them at a certain time in their life, and maybe it's a stepping stone to something else. But part of the housing issue that we're facing right now in the community and in the larger state is just the lack of housing, the lack of variability of our housing. So this is one piece of that can help us provide something to folks in our community. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else on the council? Thank you. Thank you very much. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Excuse me, Elfers?
Yes.
Ranky?
Yes.
Evers?
Yes.
Hochstetter?
Yes.
Kenna?
Yes.
Passed 5-0.
Thank you. All right, we will now move on to reports, and so we will start with Council Member Kenna. Okay, he's frozen.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. I'll be quick as my connection goes in and out here. But I did want to say thank you, as well as to Nick, who I mentioned earlier. Thank you to Janice Susanovich, who came and spoke on the vacation issue, and I really appreciated her perspective recently on that and informing the council. I think it's great when we have members of our community providing their perspective, how things might affect them. I really think it's fantastic we have engaged folks in our city. Also wanted to say thank you to the Planning Commission folks and LTAC folks who are going to be back on our commissions. That's Robert Healy, Charles Hendricks, Miley Anderson, and Dean Burke, who got announced. We really appreciate your service and bringing your expertise to our community. So thank you, Mayor. That's all I've got.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Elfers.
Yeah, I don't have too much to say. Just I hope everyone enjoys spring break, whichever week it might be. I think we had ours last week, and then I think the Sumner District has theirs this week. And then just really enjoying the sunshine. Missed the Daffodil Parade, but I was able to be outside that. But I heard it was really, really well attended, and I'm sorry I missed it. And then everyone just I took my son to look at some colleges. And so I think that's just interesting, and exciting, and exhausting thing that everyone hopefully gets the opportunity to do. So I missed that, but it was a good learning experience for me. Thanks.
Thank you. Councilmember Evers.
Thank you. I guess I would just like to say that I had a great time, great weather at the parade on Saturday. And it looks like we have just a handful of people in the audience, nobody maybe on Zoom. But I attended the parade in Puyallup. Frank, it was the first time ever, but my son, Sumner High class of 2016, and his new bride had just moved to Puyallup. So we walked, and I wanted to experience the parade with her first parade. So it was a great parade, and even in Puyallup. And I ran into a Sumner High grad who was on the council, and now he's the police chief in Puyallup. And I had a nice talk with Scott Engel, and he's doing great. And for those that remember Scott, he's wanted me to tell everybody hi in Sumner. So hello.
Nice, thank you. Now, next year they need to come here, right? You gave them that year. They're coming here next year. Okay. Councilmember Ranky?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Just a few things. Wednesday, March 18th was Public Safety Committee. Had our monthly reports from both fire and police chief. Nothing really riveting or out of the ordinary. Standard call volume for both. We did discuss the ordinance 2959 on the police chief removal of the civil service. We went over that tonight and voted on it. It passed. Our next meeting is Wednesday, April 15th at 4 p.m. The next meeting I attended was Pierce County Regional Council on Thursday, March 19th. This was a small cities action or roundtable discussion month, and we have no action items, mostly discussion. I would say the top three things that most cities were talking about, of course, are traffic, parking, apartments, and economic development, how to get more money for these cities. So, and most cities were all on board with pretty much the same things, just kind of networking and talking about how to improve some of these things. What affects one city affects the others on the area. So the next meeting will be Thursday, April 16th at 6 p.m. And we will have two keynote speakers for that meeting, Ryan Mello, the county exec, and also the Pierce County Sheriff, Keith Swank, will be guest speakers at that meeting. Tuesday, March 24th, I went to the Tacoma Pierce County Economic Development Board in Tacoma. We had several reports on several different things, but just a few things I'll bring up. It was a couple-hour meeting, so I won't bring up everything. But we had a five-board panel on the FIFA, the soccer coming in, and it was really interesting to listen to all of them talk. And for anybody out there listening in the audience, they're going to have 3 weeks of events and things going on, all free. And actually, it's being sponsored by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians, so they're paying for a lot of that stuff. And they have a website you can get on, a FIFA 2026 website, and it'll give you all the particulars, how to get to the events and what they are and what's going on. Also, another one that was interesting for me was the new Mary Bridge Children's Hospital Annex is going to open in May. So it's right across the street, apparently, from Mary Bridge Children's Hospital in Tacoma there, which is a good thing. And then Thursday, March 26th, I did attend Puyallup Sumner Chamber of Commerce Economic Forecast meeting. We had several speakers. Our own Ryan Windish was there. City of Puyallup had their person there for all the things going on in Puyallup Sumner. We also had Pierce County Council Dave Morrell there, and then also a Port Commissioner, Dick Marzano, was there. Gave a lot of updates, what's going on in the whole county for economic development. And last thing, I guess also I did, April 1st, we moved our Personnel Finance Committee meeting up to that. Just basically went over most of the income tax stuff, and we did go over a water storage tank for the water system on Zender there. Last thing is the April 4th, we did the Easter egg hunt with the East Pierce firefighters in the morning at Sunset Stadium. And then did the parade at 2:30 and drove to Kenworth in the parade. So that was a beautiful day, well turned out for everybody for the parade and the Easter egg hunts. Beautiful weather, so that's it for me.
Thank you. You've been busy. All right. Councilmember Hochstetter.
Thank you, Mayor. I serve on the Community Development Committee, and our last meeting, we talked about combining some commissions to increase efficiency. The other thing that we talked about was the Planning Commission work program. It laid it out nice and neat, what's going to come in front of them and when over the next kind of year and a half. That was really, really helpful to see that. Speaking of the commissions, I want to say thank you to the commissioners that serve on our commissions. That really is the ground floor, and the committees, the commissions committee, and then council. So if you're a resident and you want to get involved, look for a way to apply for a commission. That really is important roles, and it really does help comb through the things before it even comes to councils. And it's good to know what your recommendations are. Yeah, and Daffodil Parade, it was great. Daffodil Parade is great. Councilmember Ranke, thank you for driving us on the fire engine. I know I'm in good hands when you're driving. The sunshine being out, it was great. I have 2 little kids, and sometimes you might think, oh, it's just a parade, but rituals are important and traditions are important, and it's what binds communities together, what creates memories. It's what your kids remember. It's what I talk about, what I did when I was a kid. So I just like seeing people get out, get involved, get in the sunshine, wave at the parade, and just have fun. So it was a good day. It was a good day.
Well, it's good in Sumner as well as Puyallup.
Yeah.
Sounds like.
Thank you. City Administrator Jason Wilson.
Thank you, Mayor. Coming up at next week's study session, we'll have our community partners here to provide an update on what they've been doing over the last 12 months. As a reminder, as part of the budget process, council awards money to several community partners that perform different services for the city on our behalf and in our community. So they'll be here next week to talk about all the great work that they've been doing. April 20th at the regular council meeting, another full agenda. We'll start off with a proclamation for Arbor Day, and then you'll be confirming the mayoral appointment of a new police chief. Heritage Park Remediation Design Consultant Contract Award. On our Washington Street Preservation Project, be awarding that contract as well as the Construction Management Consultant Contract and a Design Consultant Amendment. The 2026 Pavement Chip Seal Application Construction Contract Award will be for your consideration, as well as the 6-year Transportation Improvement Program. An ordinance vacating 63rd Street East. You'll hold a public hearing on that. Several other commission appointments. An ordinance amending the 2026 compensation schedule. An ordinance repealing the Cultural Arts Commission. An ordinance amending the Forestry and Parks Commission. And an ordinance amending the Historic Preservation Commission. That is the commission consolidation that Councilmember Hochstetter referenced in his report. One other thing I want to flag for you, on April 28th, which is a Tuesday, we'll be holding our annual community summit. That's a partnership between the Sumner Bonnie Lake School District as well as the city of Bonnie Lake. More details will be out on that soon, but I wanted to flag it for your calendar and hope that you can attend. Starts off at 4:15 with a coffee with community leaders, and then we'll have some breakout sessions at 5, and then dinner and a program from 6 until 8. So look for more information on that in the coming weeks, and not only for you electeds, but every member of the public is welcome to attend that as well. So happy to answer any questions.
Questions? Thank you. Okay, so on the theme of commissions, so I'm still interviewing for a few of our commissions, so we still have that going on. I would like to talk about Metro Animal Services. Carmen, do we have a slide for that? Okay, thanks. So next week is Animal Care and Control Appreciation Week. I'd like to thank our staff, volunteers, and donors who help us run Metro Animal Services. Just so folks are aware, we provide animal care and sheltering for Sumner and Puyallup, as well as Bonnie Lake, Edgewood, Milton, Algona, and Pacific. It's a big area, and they do so much work for the people and the pets of those communities. Last year, they responded to over 2,500 calls for service. They adopted over 300 pets to new homes, returned 173 lost pets to their owners, and served over 4,000 human visitors to our shelter. Within those numbers, they handle the best of times when worried owners are reunited with their frantic pets, or animals find a loving home for the rest of their lives. So there's a lot of goodness that goes on there. At the same time, our staff also have to deal with the most difficult situations, including abandoned pets, sick animals, and investigating situations where animals may be in distress or even abusive situations. So it's a big job that these people have. I'd like to thank Lauren Wallen, who manages the program out of our Sumner Police Department. She is quickly becoming a leader across our region for discussing solutions to animal control needs. Thank you to Nikki Thosh, our supervisor at Metro, and to our animal control officers, Catherine Baldwin and Casey Albin, and to the rest of our animal control staff, Denise Boserman, Lincoln Fowler, Belinda Hudson, Samantha Shootman, and Mackenzie Sweet. And also a special shout out to all our volunteers and everyone who donates kitty litter and dog food to help our staff serve as many animals as possible at the lowest cost possible. So I just really wanted to give a shout out to these folks. It's a very important job. And so myself being an animal lover, and I think there's many other people out there that love animals as well, it's needed. It's needed, and they cover a huge territory. So then I want to move on to the parade. It was a wonderful parade on Saturday. It was sunny, it was hot, he got sunburned, my nose got sunburned. Michael was taking pictures, it was really good. Nicole Wilsey joined us. Apparently Councilmember Evers was in Puyallup, but that's okay. And Andy was down going to colleges, but we had a great time. There we are. Our float, Sumner Float, celebrated Heritage Park, a place that's truly blooming where it's planted. That is a great picture right there. The marching bands were spectacular. It's so much fun the morning of the parade, watching the day before and the morning of the bands coming around the neighborhood. It's like, oh boy, which one's that? So that's very enjoyable. And the downtown was full of people enjoying a great day together. So whether you marched, waved, attended, ate, or shopped, we appreciate your participation. It was truly enjoyable. Huge crowds. I don't know how many more people there were this year, but the streets were lined all the way from up here at Heritage Park almost down to McDonald's. Mm-hmm. I mean, they were all over the place having a great time. So it was really fun. Then I would like to share something that I am truly pleased about. I want to announce that last week our own city administrator, Jason Wilson, was officially certified as an ICMA credentialed manager. So what does that mean? Well, ICMA stands for the International City County Management Association. And to earn this designation, leaders have to demonstrate that they have a certain level of education and experience, and that they adhere to high standards of integrity and an assessed commitment to lifelong learning and professional development. In short, it means that we have one of the best running our city, and that's more than just our opinion. So he is also one of only 27 people in this state to hold this certification. So we talk about setting the standard of excellence here in Sumner, and this is what we're talking about. So congratulations, Jason. It's quite an achievement, and we're lucky to have you here. So with that being said, oh boy, Councilmember Evers, yes.
It's going to be very quick, I promise, but some trivia from the parade. But you may have noticed, my son was a 4-year Joe Carl band member, and if you watch the parade, it was Bonnie Lake and Sumner combined.
Wasn't that cool?
And I go, what the heck's going on? And anyway, I talked to a parent who helps out Joe, and apparently the combining of the two, at least for a little bit, is because Joe's trying to get into the Rose Parade.
Oh.
And apparently maybe the numbers help him with that. I know that I went down to the Rose Bowl in '97, and the Sumner Band was there. So that's why apparently they combined. FYI.
Thank you for that trivia tip. All right, so again, I'm going to congratulate Jason Wilson on his accomplishments. It's much needed here. So we really appreciate all your hard work and your dedication. It just shows that you truly care about the city that you work in.
Thank you, Mayor. It's my pleasure.
With that being said, we do have an executive session tonight. And pursuant to RCW 42.30.1101I, to discuss with legal counsel pending litigation. There will be no action to follow. So this executive session will last 15 minutes. So this regular meeting is now adjourned into executive session at 7:08 p.m.